Sri Lanka was running out of fuel, food and foreign currency. Its economy had collapsed. Its streets were filled with angry protesters. Its government was searching for an IMF rescue, but the first response from the fund was sceptical. Then, according to former Sri Lankan Finance Minister Ali Sabry, India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman intervened in Washington. He says the tone changed after she spoke directly to the IMF chief, Kristalina Georgieva. Did India change the IMF's mind? Was Sitharaman's intervention the turning point? And how much of Sri Lanka's recovery can be credited to New Delhi? Here is what Ali Sabry actually revealed. Speaking on a podcast recently, the former finance minister described arriving in Washington during Sri Lanka's darkest economic hour. His first meeting with IMF regional directors went badly. He said they kept repeating that Sri Lanka's crisis pattern had played out before and showed little empathy for what he was trying to convey. Then came a scheduled meeting with Nirmala Sitharaman right before his appointment with IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva and Deputy Managing Director Geeta Gopinath. Here's the revelation. Sabry says when he walked into the meeting with Georgieva, everything had changed. The tone, the approach, the entire atmosphere. Georgieva told him that she had just finished meeting Sitharaman and 70 to 80% of that conversation wasn't even about India. It was about Sri Lanka. Sabry called this moment the foundation of Sri Lanka's economic recovery. One finance minister speaking to the IMF leadership on behalf of a neighbouring country in crisis shifted the entire negotiating environment before Sabry even sat down. India's support went well beyond one favourable conversation. During the height of the 2022 crisis, India was among the first countries to extend emergency financial assistance to Sri Lanka, providing credit lines worth billions of dollars, specifically for essential imports like food, fuel and medicine. Sitharaman publicly assured Sabry that India would fully support Sri Lanka's negotiations with the IMF, especially its request to expedite the extended fund facility. That early Indian commitment sent a clear signal to global markets and other creditors. Sri Lanka had serious backing and its recovery plan deserved to be taken seriously. Getting emergency cash was only step one. Securing the IMF's eventual $2.9 billion extended fund facility required Sri Lanka to get financing assurances from its major creditors through a complex process called debt restructuring. This meant multilateral negotiations involving India, China and Paris Club members simultaneously. India didn't just stop at bilateral support. Sitharaman later joined her French and Japanese counterparts in a joint press briefing at the IMF's spring meetings, formally announcing the launch of Sri Lanka's debt restructuring negotiations. That's India sitting at the table as a lead creditor nation, not a bystander. The disclosure adds real substance to something India has claimed for years, that its regional influence isn't just about aid announcements and photo ops, but about diplomatic weight applied at the exact moment. Sabry's account shows India didn't just write checks for Sri Lanka. It spent political capital directly with IMF leadership to reshape how Colombo's crisis was being perceived. In a region where China's checkbook diplomacy often dominates headlines, this is India demonstrating a different kind of influence. Quieter, less visible, but arguably more decisive when a country is standing at the edge of default. For India's neighbours watching closely, the message is simple. When the numbers alone aren't enough to convince global lenders, having India in your corner still counts for something.
A nuclear weapon.
The old rules are breaking. Alliances are shifting.
Apologise again to the victims of the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein.
Wars are redrawing maps. Oil routes can shake economies overnight. One election in America can impact markets in Mumbai.
No tax on tips.
One move by China can alter the balance in Asia. One conflict in West Asia can hit every Indian household. This is no longer a distant story. This is our story. Your story. Because for the first time in decades, India is not watching from the sidelines. India is rising. India is negotiating. India is balancing rivals. India is building military strength. India is shaping trade routes. India is becoming central to the new global order. And yet, most global news is still told through someone else's lens. Washington's lens, Beijing's lens, London's lens. But where is India's lens? Where is the platform that explains the world from our perspective? Welcome to India's Axis, a new destination for geopolitics, strategy and power seen through India's eyes, from Neighborhood Watch to the biggest global stories that matter to you. Why tensions in the Taiwan Strait matter to India, how one move by China can affect India's security, what turmoil in Pakistan means for regional stability, how Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Bhutan shape India's neighborhood, why oil choke points can hit your wallet, how wars abroad can reshape India's security. This is not noise. This is not shouting. This is not recycled headlines. This is sharp, intelligent storytelling. Daily explainers, war room analysis, strategic conversations. Because news is everywhere, but perspective is rare, and in the age of confusion, clarity is power. Axis is for the audience that wants more than headlines. The axis of global power is shifting. India is at the center of that shift. It's time the world was explained accordingly, to understand the world through India's strategic lens. Subscribe now.